Are you going to join the bunch of pseudo-intellectuals? I checked them out, and I didn't even know this group was being built. And if they asked me to join them on a video or something like that, I'd be more than willing to. I'd be more than happy to, because I like people like Acrolothby and Master TP10. I like all of them. They're great people. And if they really, really, really wanted me to join them in a video or something, I'd be more than happy to. I really would. But they haven't asked me, so at this point, I can't say that I'm going to be joining a bunch of pseudo-intellectuals. They would be the better ones to ask than me, because I don't have control over who is and who is not in their group. What games besides RPGs do you enjoy? I enjoy stealth games such as the Metal Gear franchise and the Siphon Filter franchise, stuff like that. I enjoy those. I enjoy open world games like Fallout and the Elder Scrolls series. I enjoy those kind of games. Now, sandbox games like Grand Theft Auto, I get bored with them real quick. Now, that's not to say that I'm not a fan of games like Infamous. I like the Infamous games because there's something about them that just keeps me entertained. And it's probably the fact that you got all the supernatural abilities, and it's more than just, oh, look, I can shoot another gun at other people. Ha, 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 Grand Theft Auto. Woo! And I get bored with the Grand Theft Auto games, but Infamous has kept me rightly entertained on all of them that I've played, and that's the two that have been out so far, so it's really not saying much. And of course, the Zelda franchise. I love the Zelda franchise to death. I really do. And that's technically not an RPG, that is an adventure game. What are your thoughts on the new Super Smash Bros. Game? Meh. Any anime everyone loves that you hate? I made a very, 8-minute long review of Death Note and why I despise Death Note. Well, not really despise, but don't like Death Note. I do not like Death Note. And it has a huge fan base. I dislike Death Note with a passion. I can't stand that anime. Everything about it just rubs me wrong past the first story arc. The first story arc's amazing, and then they get past that first story arc and it goes all the way downhill, and it's just horrible from that point forward, which ruins the series overall and in general for me. Your favorite kind of game genre? Role-playing games, RPGs. I prefer those kinds of games. What is the worst movie you ever watched? Worst movie I've ever watched overall? White Chicks. I regret ever sitting down to watch that. And then there's movies like X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was horrible, horrible shit. And the movie Wanted. I despised those movies. Watch any other cartoons other than MLP with your kids? Yeah, I watch a lot of cartoons with my kids. My son is really huge into things like Rescue Bots. He's really huge into the Wild Kratts. He likes anything that has to do with superheroes, especially the Avengers. He loves the Avengers. He likes Spider-Man. He likes the original Transformers series, and he likes Pokemon. Now, as for my little girl, she is into the Tinkerbell movies. She's into all the Disney movies. She's into different Disney shows like Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse. She's into a lot of what's really for the younger kids than what my son's into. And yeah, she's into My Little Pony. Definitely into My Little Pony. Every night of the week, she asks me if we can watch Equestria Girls. Just to name one movie. She'll ask to either watch Equestria Girls or any of the Tinkerbell movies. And believe me, I can recite every last one of those at this point. What is your favorite anime and anime character? Favorite overall, I'd have to say Code Geass. And even go with favorite anime character just because of character development, the way they portray the character, and everything to do with him. Lelouch V. Britannia from Code Geass. Oh my god, he is an amazing character. I'm not making fun of you, but how did you come up with your channel name? And what does TOG stand for? Thanks for the laughs, intended or unintended as they may be. Well, you're welcome for the laughs, either intended or unintended. Hopefully a lot more of them are intended than unintended. But honestly, it's not a TOG Q&A session if no one asks me what TOG stands for. TOG stands for that one guy. And long story short, once again, I think this might be the 6th or 7th time I've answered this question, but TOG was originally created on the channel TOG Reviews for that one guy reviews, where back in the day when reviewing was first becoming really popular, I started on a channel called Cop Poss. I made a couple of videos there, then I switched over to TOG Reviews after my buddy, because I was making reviews at the time, and I couldn't come up with a good name for myself to use for screen name, so I just went with TOG, that one guy. I was like, yeah, it's generic enough, might as well fucking use it. And then the name The Professor came in because my buddy was watching one of my reviews during the initial editing and everything else, and he's like, dude, you go into a whole lot of explanation on everything. You need to cut a bunch of that shit out, but it seems like you're just trying to be a professor, and it sounds like you're a professor when you're explaining a lot of this shit. So that's where the professor came in. So TOG, that one guy, and professor is where my channel name came from. Are you excited about Mighty Number 9? Fuck yes! Favorite Mega Man weapon? Gotta go with the Metal Blade from Mega Man 2, bro! You can't go wrong with it! Bro fist. Fuck that. ASL, 30 Mel, Arkansas. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Godzilla movie? Already answered it. Link in the description to my answer. What do you think of the Dinobots being in Transformers 4? After seeing the previous 2 Transformers, not all that excited because the previous 2 have not been that good. And they're really bringing in the Dinobots because all the fans of the Transformers series were wanting the Dinobots originally in the second one. And then after we didn't get it there, we wanted it in the third one. And at this point, a lot of us are just like, meh, whatever, fuck it, it's Michael Bay. Is there a movie that you like that everyone hates and vice versa? Can't really say any off the top of my head that I like that everyone hates, but everyone hates that I like. I really can't say that other than maybe stuff like the Van Helsing movie. The Van Helsing movie with Hugh Jackman is a horrible movie, but I love it due to its campy level. I love how campy that movie is. And I can get a joy out of it just watching the Dracula from that movie. And a lot of people hate it for what it did to Van Helsing. And while I agree on that level, I still can't help but enjoy it because it's a sheer laugh to watch the movie. What do you think of Attack on Titan? Already answered. And I will put a link to the description. Or link in the description. Favorite anime villain. Ooh. Favorite anime villain. Damn, that's a toofy. That's a toofy. Really thinking through all the anime characters that I've seen that are villains, it's really hard for me to pinpoint who would overall be my favorite. I would have to say maybe a character like Medusa. I really liked Medusa from Soul Eater just due to her character and the portrayal of the character and just how well she did in her plans to try to destroy everything and the way she did. I really liked Medusa from Soul Eater. Thought on Pokemon X and Y. I wish I could play it, but I don't have a 3DS. That's about as far as I can say on X and Y. Opinion on the Yakuza games. Never really played them, in all honesty, so I can't really voice an opinion on that. What do you think of Japanese Western RPGs like the Souls games, Dark Souls and Demon Souls and Dragon's Dogma? Like I said earlier in the Q&A, I loved the Demon Souls game. Demon Souls was amazing. Dragon's Dogma, I still play it to this day. I play Dark Arisen on my PS3. I love that game. It's fantastic. I have no issue with the Japanese industry and the Japanese producers and game creators making more of a Western-style RPG any more than I would have an issue with the Western developers making a Japanese-style RPG. I have no issue with that. Opinion on me now. Since I'm still a faggot, apparently, I have no opinion in relation to you because I haven't watched your videos and I don't know what the fuck you're doing on your channel at this point. Your 3 bust sizes: bust, waist, and hips. Fat, and fat. I have absolutely no idea. If you can I draw you in Rome Wars together as a couple? It's the best stick figure drawing I can accomplish. If you do it, you send me a copy of that, because I'm going to fap to it. You have my permission to draw me in Rome Wars together, although Scarlet might be a little upset. Is Sir Raven the father? Sir Raven is a father of a lot of things, including my illegitimate children. Yes, I'm saying that he's my gay love buddy outside of Rome Wars and Acroloth and Lentertainment and everyone else out there who's my gay love buddy in the commentary community. And for some reason with Sir Raven, I get to be the bitch in the relationship. What advice could you give me if I were to start making commentary videos? Could you please give me some pointers? In all honesty, commentaries, there's really not much to say about them. I've said a lot about commentaries in the past and what I think of them or what should be there. And in all honesty, to say anything here to give advice about it, other than stick to your points. Research. If you're going to do something that's like serious, any seriousness behind it whatsoever, whether it be religion, homosexuality, anything of the sort, research it. Make sure you know what you're talking about, because people are going to call you out in an instant if you don't actually know what the fuck you're saying. But I'll just point you to the videos I've made about commentaries. And links in the description. So might I ask, does your wife cosplay as Stocking? And if she does, then what do you do with her? No, my wife is not a cosplayer. My wife is about as far from being a nerd as you can get. My wife does absolutely nothing in regards to cosplay. So as far as doing anything in bed with her while dressed as Stocking, that's a moot point because, well, she doesn't dress as Stocking at all. Boobies or anime boobies? By the way, I can't decide which is better. Boobies in real life because you can actually play with them, and anime boobies because despite how old the anime gets, they never start sagging. What's your favorite V8 fusion drink? Yes, I went there again, X3. And much like in the past, I still haven't tried V8 Fusion X3. Hearing from a friend of mine, DC films are going to be in the shitter because of how they are handling films like having a Justice League movie, but with little to no character introductions or each of their own feature films beforehand. If this isn't true, then how do you think they'll handle the Justice League film compared to the animated counterparts such as Flashpoint Paradox and War? Ah, jeez. Holy hell. Well, let's see. In all honesty, if they do it correctly, you don't need to have a huge origin story for each one of them. You really don't need to have a huge origin story. Because the origin story movies that are out there are made to tell a story that's already out there if you really want to know it. The origin story for Wolverine, the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, despite how bad they did with that movie, the story's been told before. Batman's origin, been told millions of times. That's why in the new series, in the Batman vs. Superman, they're not giving his origin story. You know it. Now, some of the more obscure ones, some of those that might not be known as well, Wonder Woman, I believe they're supposed to be doing a Wonder Woman movie after Batman vs. Superman. And things like The Flash, if they have them in there. The Flash has been done multiple times, whether it's been in TV or movies. There's a lot of these, you know the origin story. They could handle it if done correctly. If they actually take care with what they're doing, they can do it right. Warner Brothers, if they don't go back to what they did with the Batman movies later in the series or later in the franchise when they had Joel Schumacher take over it, a lot of people blame that on Warner Brothers, which is really not their fault. It's more the fault of Joel Schumacher. They could do it right. Now, will they be as good as the animated movies like Justice League War, Justice League Doom? Man, I don't know, because movies like Doom were fantastic. Have you ever seen Generator Rex? I've seen it on Netflix, but never clicked watch. So I have no idea if it's any good.